He probably should have never put it on the floor. He had an advantage early.
Paolo galloping in for two.
On the other end of the court, Austin Reaves displayed impressive chemistry with LeBron James, seamlessly playing off his movements to create scoring opportunities. One of his most effective techniques was using his shoulder to create space against larger defenders. By initiating contact and positioning his body to shield the ball, Reaves neutralized their size advantage, giving himself better angles for shots and passes. This strategy was particularly valuable against taller, stronger opponents who could otherwise contest his attempts. By dipping his shoulder into the defender's body, he disrupted their positioning, making it harder for them to react quickly. As a result, Reaves could pull up for a mid-range jumper, drive deeper into the lane, or find an open teammate. LeBron's presence on the floor further amplified Reaves's effectiveness. Because James commands so much defensive attention, opponents are often forced to decide whether to stay with their man or help on LeBron. Reaves took full advantage of this by making smart cuts, positioning himself well, and using his physicality to generate separation. His ability to adapt to LeBron's play style, rather than relying on isolation, highlighted his high basketball IQ. This approach is reminiscent of veteran guards who have mastered the art of using their body to counter aggressive defenders. Players like Chris Paul, James Harden, and Luka Doncic have all perfected this technique, and Reaves has incorporated it into his game, proving that skill and positioning can be just as effective as raw size and strength.
A little contact and then scores on the little jump shot.
On the other end of the court, Austin Reaves showcased his ability to read the game and exploit defensive weaknesses, particularly in his two-man actions with LeBron James. One of his most effective techniques was using his shoulder against bigger defenders to create space, allowing him to maneuver effectively and generate scoring opportunities. His combination of physicality, timing, and spatial awareness made him a constant threat, whether attacking the basket or setting up teammates. Beyond his individual efforts, Reaves excelled at punishing Orlando's defensive miscommunications, especially during dribble handoffs, DHOs, with Benjamin buckets. DHOs are a key component of modern offensive schemes, forcing defenders to make split-second decisions, whether to switch, fight over the screen, or hedge against the ball handler. Orlando struggled to defend these actions, often leaving gaps that Reaves and buckets exploited. Whenever Orlando's defenders hesitated or failed to communicate on a DHO, Reaves capitalized by either attacking the open space himself or setting up buckets in an advantageous position. If the defense sagged too far back, Reaves displayed patience and skill, knocking down mid-range jumpers or driving aggressively to the rim. If they overcommitted to him, he showed great vision by delivering precise passes to buckets, allowing him to finish inside or take a clean perimeter shot. This style of play is especially difficult to defend when executed with precision and chemistry. The synergy between Reaves and buckets was evident as they adjusted their reads based on Orlando's defensive coverage. On multiple occasions, Reaves recognized when his defender was slow to recover, or when help defense was late on rotations, using that split-second window to create easy scoring opportunities.
From distance, and he knocks it down.
Luka started the game off rhythm, missing his first 4 shot attempts despite generating quality looks. Whether due to timing, defensive pressure, or simply an off start, his usual efficiency was missing in the opening minutes. However, he stayed composed, continued to orchestrate the offense, and found other ways to contribute while patiently working his way back into the game.
Try it again. Doncic trying to go into a dance with 2, with 1. That's pretty good defense by Carter Jr. that time.
But despite Luka's slow start, Hayes made a significant impact by dominating the boards, consistently securing rebounds off missed shots. His presence in the paint created crucial second-chance opportunities, keeping the offense alive even when shots weren't falling early. His effort and physicality on the glass gave his team an edge in controlling possessions and maintaining momentum. On the other end, Paolo Banchero had been shooting an impressive 42% from 3 throughout March, a well-documented statistic that should have been at the forefront of every scouting report. Given this, an obvious question arises. Why wasn't he being aggressively challenged on the perimeter? With such a high shooting percentage, defenders should have been closing out hard on every outside attempt. Letting a shooter of his caliber get uncontested looks is a defensive lapse that can't be ignored. If Banchero was known as a legitimate deep threat, failing to apply pressure or contest his shots was inexcusable. Whether it was a breakdown in communication, a lapse in effort, or a strategic misjudgment, the decision to sag off or give him space proved costly. In situations like these, defensive awareness and discipline are critical, especially against a player who has already demonstrated he can consistently knock down shots.
Banchero unguarded for three. He got it. The Lakers, I'm not sure if they've been checking the scouting report. But
Defense was supposed to be the Lakers' priority, but they struggled to execute, particularly when switching on Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner's ball screens. Orlando exploited these mismatches, with Banchero sealing off defenders and establishing deep post position against smaller opponents. His strength and footwork created easy scoring opportunities, putting immense pressure on the Lakers' interior defense. The Lakers' inability to contain these mismatches had a ripple effect throughout their defensive scheme. When Orlando secured offensive rebounds, it often forced the Lakers into rushed and reckless closeouts in an effort to recover. This led to breakdowns in their defensive rotations, allowing the Magic to move the ball quickly with swing passes, creating open looks for shooters and high-percentage scoring chances. Orlando took full advantage of these defensive lapses, using crisp ball movement and smart decision-making to punish the Lakers. Whether it was Banchero asserting himself in the post, Wagner capitalizing on defensive miscommunications, or perimeter players knocking down shots off extra passes, the Magic's execution kept the Lakers on their heels. To regain control, the Lakers needed to be more disciplined in their switches, communicate better on screens, and contest shots without overcommitting, which left them vulnerable to quick ball movement.
Wagner back to Corey Joseph. Now a corner three. KCP. This one's good. The former Laker makes his first shot of the night.
As KCP was the one that kept that one alive.
The mismatch between Austin Reeves and Franz Wagner posed significant defensive challenges for the Lakers, forcing LeBron James into a strong side zone to provide backside help. While this adjustment was necessary to counter Wagner's size and skill, it led to nearly impossible recovery rotations when closing out on Orlando's perimeter shooters. Recognizing this vulnerability, the Magic relentlessly attacked it, making Reeves their primary target in a hunt-at-all-costs strategy. Every time Wagner got the switch onto Reeves, Orlando capitalized, either by isolating Wagner to exploit the mismatch or by using the advantage to collapse the defense and kick out to open shooters. The Lakers, stretched thin by constant rotations, often arrived too late to contest, allowing the Magic to generate high-quality looks from beyond the arc. As the game progressed, Orlando's approach continued to pay off. By forcing the Lakers into defensive scrambles, they controlled the pace and established an offensive rhythm that played to their strengths. To counter this, the Lakers needed to either prevent the switch altogether or improve their backside rotations without overcommitting and leaving shooters unchecked. Without an adjustment, Orlando's ability to exploit Reeves in mismatches remained a winning formula.
To Banchero, guarded by Reeves. Jump shot is good, nothing but net.
This was the moment Luka Doncic began to take control, expertly using defenders' momentum against them. After a slow start, he adjusted by leaning on his signature strengths, manipulating the defense with pace, footwork, and basketball IQ, rather than relying on pure speed or athleticism. Recognizing that defenders were aggressively closing out or overcommitting to contain him, Luka started to turn their momentum into an advantage. When opponents lunged toward him, he countered, with controlled hesitations, step-backs, or quick changes in direction, leaving them off balance. In pick-and-roll situations, he used his body to shield the ball while subtly shifting speeds, forcing defenders to react too soon or too late. In one-on-one matchups, Luka baited defenders into reaching by applying pressure, then exploited their missteps with a spin move, a slow-motion Euro step, or a deceptive hesitation dribble to create space. His ability to read the defense in real time kept him a step ahead, allowing him to dictate the game rather than letting the defense control him. This shift not only helped Luka find his rhythm, but also opened up opportunities for his teammates. As defenders struggled to adjust to his pacing, passing lanes opened, leading to easy baskets for cutters and spot-up shooters. By using their aggression against them, Luka effectively turned the tide of the game, putting his team in position to capitalize on Orlando's defensive lapses.
Doncic, gotta get the bounce, and he does.
As Luka Doncic took control of the game, he masterfully used defenders' momentum against them, relying on one of his most effective weapons, the pump fake. Recognizing that defenders were eager to contest his shots, he baited them into the air with subtle yet deliberate fakes, creating easy scoring opportunities. Luka's pump fake is especially lethal because of his shooting ability and patience. Defenders, knowing he's a deep threat, often rush to close out, expecting him to fire. Instead, he remains composed, reading their reactions. The moment a defender bites on the fake and leaves their feet, he either sidesteps for an open look, initiates contact to draw a foul, or drives past them into open space. This move was particularly effective off the dribble. In pick-and-roll situations, he used a quick pull-up motion to freeze defenders, causing them to jump prematurely, allowing him to lean in for a foul or glide past them for a layup. Against bigger defenders, he displayed patience in the post, using shoulder fakes and pivots to get them off balance before finishing at the rim. By consistently forcing defenders to react on his terms, Luka dictated the flow of the game. His combination of the pump fake, footwork, and pace manipulation kept the defense guessing, making him nearly impossible to guard one-on-one. Beyond creating high-percentage shots for himself, his ability to lift defenders out of position opened passing lanes for teammates, further breaking down Orlando's defensive structure.
Luka was thinking long, and they bailed him out. You cannot, if you're the Magic, under any circumstance.
Guarding. Luka Doncic sounds simple in theory. Close out under control, don't bite on fakes, stay grounded. But in reality, once Luka starts dictating the pace, the game becomes a chess match, with him playing mind games against the entire defense. Defenders know they need to stay patient, yet Luka has a way of lulling them into mistakes. He'll establish a rhythm with slow, deliberate dribbles, then suddenly accelerate. He'll sell the shot with his body language, only to hesitate at the last second and watch defenders jump out of position. The moment a defender thinks they've figured him out, he adjusts. Whether it's a step-back three, a quick drive, or a perfectly timed pass to a cutting teammate. His pump fake is just one weapon in his psychological warfare. Once defenders become hesitant, unsure whether to contest hard or stay back, Luka takes full control. If they overcommit, he punishes them with fouls. If they sag off, he drains an open shot. If they stay disciplined, he breaks them down with footwork, using spins, pivots, and deceptive changes in pace to create space where none seemed to exist. The real challenge isn't just guarding Luka physically, it's keeping up with him, mentally. He forces defenders into impossible choices, constantly shifting between scorer, playmaker, and manipulator. By the time a team adjusts, he's already 2 steps ahead.
Luka for three! Fresh snow from the outside here in a warm evening in Orlando.